So as we go into, I mean, obviously the year's winding down and we go into 2022, lots of money to be spent. Al, I think you actually make a really great point about, because I've seen a couple articles about this, the risk of unqualified people trying to, I mean, sadly game the system, right? I mean, they're trying to get money and at the expense, which is, you know, it's horrible. You're at the expense of a student or expense of a school system. Like I mean, that's clearly morally questionable when you're taking money
exactly
for a school to do things that aren't legit. But you know, if you guys could give, you know, advice, you know, the tangible advice of what to do next, right? If to any of these schools out there listening, or you know, we're talking to, what, you know, what's those one or two things that they should be thinking about as the ESL comes out, as the dates for eRate are happening? What are the things they should really be considering as we're winding down the year? We'll start with you, Jim.
Okay, so like any other organization, schools and libraries are no different from a infrastructure perspective. You have to do some sort of a needs assessment. The next step, though, is unlike a private sector where it's here's the budget, here's how much money we have to spend. That's kind of unknown at this point in time as to what resources you have at your disposal to go forward with your project. Define your projects. Go to your manufacturers and figure out what those projects are going to cost, so you have a good idea of what it's going to be like when you actually try and, you know, when rubber hits the road. And then from there, rely on those resources that are out there. And there's a ton of them. Just all you got to do is type in, you know, help me with my grant type stuff, and you will get a lot of resources. There are manufacturers, one, Alan, we're all aware of, who's helping to sponsor this. Has a program. CommScope Ruckus has a program to help folks figure out what resources are available to them. And all you have to do is contact your Ruckus CommScope rep, and they will help you through that process. And it's free to a point. Granted, if you get to the point where you're actually going to try and apply, the application process is not free, never will be, but it can point you in the right direction. And so I'd highly recommend that. Once you know what your programs and needs are, then like every other organization, you got to figure out how I'm going to pay for it. And that's step one. There's a lot of money out there. There's all kinds of new programs coming out, new grants under that $65 billion with the latest stimulus package, or, you know, infrastructure package, whatever you want to call it. There's a ton of money that's coming for infrastructure and for wireless. So there you go.
Awesome. Al?
And then from my standpoint, kind of along the same lines, kind of know what you have and know what you don't have, right? I mean, that is an assessment, you know, from a technology standpoint, especially. And then with respect to wireless, right, all technologies are somewhat different. So understand what the requirements are for the technology to be successful. You know, I caution all of my clients to be careful about drinking the Kool-Aid, right, of what a technology is. I mean, 5G is an amazing technology, but it's not the right solution in every set of circumstances. Mesh Wi-Fi is a great technology. We've had a number of successful deployments with it, but it's asset dependent on street lights and traffic signals. If you're in a community that only has a tower, then, you know, private LTE looks pretty attractive, right? Because, you know, homes are typically spaced apart. It doesn't have as much of the bandwidth requirements as, say, Mesh Wi-Fi does. So understand the technology first and foremost, and if it fits the application need. And then find good partners. And I'm not just talking about SmartWAVE. We're always a great partner, but find a good partner you can trust. And partners include more than the integrator or the entity that's going to be managing the service. You know, partners may be, you know, your consultant you work with. Partners may be the utility company. Partners may be the city. Partners may be a nonprofit within your community that can contribute to the success of your program. So you know, one thing that we have learned in building these community wireless broadband networks is it takes a village. And it's a lot of different entities coming together with a common goal of providing connectivity, that fourth utility of broadband within their neighborhoods. And we're here to support it day in, day out. And there's a certain methodology we follow. And one of the things we tell a lot of our clients, as we go through that process is, look, whether you use us or not, you follow this process, you can create your roadmap to success. And that's that.
Awesome. Well, I think it goes without saying again that there's a massive opportunity of funding, opportunity up to new technology to really, I think we can all agree, we want to bring digital equity to everyone. I mean, that's the goal, right?